Tribal gaming expansion continues to sweep across the nation, and Oklahoma is reaping the benefits. That's according to the latest impact report on the Indian gaming industry, which shows 31 tribes in Oklahoma currently operate almost 130 gaming operations with a multi-billion-dollar impact on the state's economy.
The Cherokee Casino in Grove is the newest Native American casino to open in the United States. Although the casino's actually been in operation since December, Cherokee Nation tribal officials and Grove City leaders held the official ribbon cutting January 17th. The $39 million, 40,000 square foot facility is the tribe's 10th gambling venue, and Cherokee Principal Chief Bill John Baker says it's already created 175 new permanent jobs in Delaware County.
In New York City, 175 jobs is no big deal. In Delaware County, 175 jobs is a big deal. And I mean, that's 175 families that maybe had to travel completely out, or were going to have to move away, or maybe some families that were from here that get to come home.
Tribal gaming's impact on rural areas like Grove is one of the themes of the latest Economic Impact Report issued by the Oklahoma Indian Gaming Association. The report shows tribal gaming had a total economic impact of $7.2 billion from operations and construction, of which 60% occurred in rural areas. Oklahoma Indian Gaming Association Chair Brian Foster says tribal gaming operations supported 27,944 jobs in Oklahoma in 2015.
3 out of 4 of those jobs were full-time, and 66% were in rural communities. Wages, tips, salaries were over $1 billion.
Kyle Dean is director of the Center for Native American and Urban Studies at Oklahoma City University. Dean says in many cases, tribal gaming operations are an economic lifeline for rural communities.
Look at the numbers, and you're getting around 60% of all of that activity is occurring in these rural communities where population, the trend is for those communities to be declining. And so what you see is, by virtue of these tribal operations, there is some ability of these tribes to help sustain these rural communities.
Dean says Oklahoma is following a national trend in which rural areas have been losing population to urban centers for a number of years.
But if you're somebody who likes to live in the rural area, you like the quality of life there, you want to stay there, these rural areas that are benefiting from these gaming enterprises, because they provide jobs in these rural areas, they provide activity. People have to open restaurants near the casinos, they have to open hotels, they have to open other businesses that thrive as a result of these locations in rural areas.
The Economic Impact Report shows there were almost 45.9 million visits to Oklahoma tribal gaming operations in 2015, including 18.7 million from out of state. James Klass, co-founder of Klass Robinson QED, which worked on the report, says a key factor in assessing economic impact is looking at how much is coming from outside the state's borders.
In Oklahoma in particular, a very large proportion that is coming from somewhere else, and especially in the rural areas, it's coming from somewhere else. That's all fresh new money pouring into those areas that simply wouldn't be there if this wasn't happening.
And Foster expects the numbers to go even higher.
I think personally the sky is the limit because of all the facilities that there are and what kind of amenities that those facilities can add on to them, which will just create more and more jobs in more and more rural areas, which will help more and more rural communities.
There were concerns a few years ago that Oklahoma might have hit a saturation point for new casinos when exclusivity fees paid by the tribes fell for the first time in fiscal year 2014. But those fees have since rebounded and now total more than $1 billion since 2006.
It's hard to say that we're reaching saturation because we're continuing to see a growth in visitations, and we know the population is continuing to grow, so I don't know that we're quite there yet.
The tribal compacts with the state are set to expire in 2020, when they'll either be renegotiated or allowed to continue. Money from the compacts goes to help fund Oklahoma's public education system.